All right, everybody. Good late afternoon. We've got ourselves the Wednesday practice report. I'm getting to this a little bit later than I usually do, but we are getting to it. So it's mostly good news this week. I got the report from Greg Bell on X. So let's take a look here and talk through it and try to figure out where we might be come the end of the week. All right. So we've got 5 DNPs, but a majority of them are not anything to really be concerned about in terms of a player missing a game. Could it affect them in a game? Sure, that's always possible, but really the two guys to focus on here in this practice report are Tyler Lockett and Colby Parkinson. And honestly, at this point, Lockett is probably just not going to practice on Wednesdays. That's going to be part of his process now. He's an older player. He's been with his team for a long time. He doesn't need full practice time. So he missed practice quite a bit last week and still went out there and had a great game. He's missed a lot of practice this week, and it hasn't stopped him from having an effective season. So for my money, Tyler Lockett can miss Wednesday practice, and I'm not really going to be too concerned about him missing the game. Colby Parkinson, still with the biceps injury. He might honestly be in the same boat. He might be in a situation where this is just something that's going to bug him for the rest of the year. Now, Colby's not a veteran the same way Lockett is, but he's been in the league a few years now, and you can definitely give people Wednesday off if there's anything going on. And I think that the Seahawks typically lean in that direction. So Lockett and Parkinson, they are technically not practicing. It's worth monitoring, but I think they'll both be fine for game day. The other 3 guys listed here are at least partially just resting, like explicitly so. Like sometimes you rest a player because of a minor injury that you don't want to exacerbate, but sometimes it's very explicit. You're just letting the player have a day off. Jamal Adams, Jordan Brooks, both not injury related resting player with a little bit of a knee thrown in there, but the indication there is that the knee is not really bothering them. And you've got Leonard Williams, who is just a full-on resting player. So that's pretty good. Can't really be upset about that. Can't be concerned about that. Again, it is Wednesday, so most of this should clear up in the next 2 days anyway. All right, so let's go to the limited participants. We got 3 guys here. Michael Dixon, that's a new one, right hamstring injury. If he couldn't punt, we would probably have to sign somebody for a week, but we don't have to worry about that too much yet. We'll see where the week goes, but I'd be surprised if he actually missed the game. So yeah, Michael Dixon, limited. Also limited, but thankfully so, Abe Lucas. He is officially back in practice. Now, I read some of the comments that Carroll made about Abe Lucas, and if you look at the words he's using, look at the language he's using, he's being very, very upfront about the fact that this can go many different directions still. Abe Lucas could be back on the field this week, next week, the week after, or they find out, can't go, shut him down for the rest of the year. Like, he's being pretty open about the fact that he is not past the injury. They don't feel like he's 100% good to go no matter what. He's going to get back on the field no matter what. This is part of the discovery process. Can he actually play? Like, they may find out in the coming weeks that he can practice, but he's never going to be able to get up to playing speed until after the surgery. And if that happens, then we're back in the same position we are right now. So that's still a possibility. So I don't want to go too crazy with the expectation of, oh, Abe Lucas is going to definitely be out there in a couple weeks, when Pete Carroll himself, who is generally very positive about these things, is making it known that this can still go many different ways, including the worst way possible. So be patient with this one. That's the only thing I can say. We hope Abe Lucas can be back soon, but realistically, there exists a possibility that it could be 3 weeks. It could be not this year at all. And if it is, I'm not going to be terribly shocked at this point. And Damian Lewis also limited with a back injury. He's another guy who might just be on the injury report all year and ultimately ends up playing. I'm not really worried about him not being able to play. So not too bad here either. I don't expect Lucas to play this weekend regardless, but good to see him listed as a limited participant at least. And full Full participants, we got Bradford. He's back. Looks like he's ready to go. Should be active this weekend. Could be a big deal. If Damian Lewis can't go, Bradford's involved in the contingency plan. If Phil Haynes gets hurt, then Bradford's part of the contingency plan. So good stuff there. Derek Young, full participant. The injury that they initially thought was going to be a big problem ends up being a little problem. So great news there. Should be ready to go for this Rams game. I understand he doesn't have a big role to play, but like I said this morning, I'd rather have him than Eskridge out there. And finally, Trey Brown, full participant. Not that I was really concerned about him. I didn't see him get hurt at the end of that Commanders game. So I wasn't thinking he was going to miss this game potentially. But good to see him as a full participant because last week I think he was limited on Wednesday. So that's indicative of the fact that he is making his way back and starting to claw his way back into the conversation here. So that's your injury stuff. The Rams injury report is actually even a little bit shorter than ours. They are very clean right now. They are coming off a game against Green Bay a couple weeks ago where they had issues, but those issues have mostly cleared up. And right now, they are sitting on 4 players who were limited in practice today. Rob Havenstein with a calf, Kobe Durant with a shoulder, Laurel Murchison with a knee, and Puka Nacua with a knee. Now, those are 4 pretty important players. And if any of them can't go, that affects the team dramatically. But if they're limited on Wednesday, good chance they're good to go by game day. So odds are good we're going to see all of these guys. Everyone else is a full participant, including Matt Stafford, which is obviously a big one. Some people weren't sure if he was going to be able to play this week because he did miss the Green Bay game, but it looks like he's ready to go. Ernest Jones missed week 9. He looks to be back as well. So the Rams are pretty clean right now in terms of injury stuff. And I think you could argue they are healthier now than they were when we played them in week 1, if we're being honest, right? They didn't have Cooper Kupp in that game. So not really anything to say about the Rams injury report other than that team is about as healthy as you can hope for a team in week 11. And we've played quite a few games against very healthy teams the last few weeks. I have noticed that. Very short injury reports on this front. So, yeah, that's really all the news we got. By the way, one quick final footnote on the Seahawks injury report. Take note of the guys who aren't listed here, like Kenny McIntosh, well, Kobe Bryant hasn't been activated yet, so he couldn't be listed. But McIntosh isn't even listed with an injury anymore, which indicates that he could play. We just don't have a use for him. So, for his sake, I'm hoping we do eventually develop a use for him. All right. I'm going to get out of here. Everyone have a good evening. I will be streaming the last bit of Starfield tonight on Twitch. If you want to see the end of Starfield, come watch. After that, I'm probably switching over to Spider-Man 2. So if you want to see me continue to go through that, then hop on by. And either way, I will see you guys either tonight or tomorrow. Go Hawks.